Before Jessie comes on, does anybody want to read the intro script that Brian sent? Man, I'm happy to give it a shot, but I just wanted to throw it out there to everybody.
Go for it.
Yeah,
Who,
you
me?
do it.
Sure,
You
I
do
can.
it. Yeah. You can do it.
Hem.
You got to do the do re mi thing. Don't say nearly 50. I mean, celebrating 50
Why not
years
nearly
of
50?
operational. That'd be
50 plus. How about
stupid.
50 plus?
Stupid. Yeah.
50 plus
better.
or nearly 50? I have to change it because I can't work on the fly like that. All right. Welcome to the No Vacancy podcast, brought to you by Access Self-Storage, 50 plus years of operational excellence. Today, we're talking about the gap between what your software says is happening at your facility and what's actually happening on the ground. Maintenance, audits, vendor follow-up, unit turns, this is the stuff that drives performance. But it's often the least systematic. God damn it, I knew that was going to mess me up. Can we synonym that shit?
Yeah, I know. We got to
Systematize.
Systematize.
What is it? Yeah, that's
stupid. But it's often the least. Can we say organized? Is that cool?
I think this is the introduction.
Let's fumble.
But it's often the least. That's where you two jump in and say a word. Go ahead. What do you got?
Blech.
Systematized? Is that it?
I got. Is that how you...
Fuck says systematized. Yeah. Welcome to the No Vacancy podcast, brought to you by Access Self-Storage, 50 plus years of operational excellence. Today, we're talking about the gap between what your software says is happening at your facility and what's actually happening on the ground. Maintenance, audits, vendor follow-up, unit turns. This is the stuff that drives performance, but it's often the least systematized part of the business. To break that down, we've got Jessie Lamb with us, VP of Self-Storage at Notify. Jessie's worked across HR, call centers, and multi-site operations, so she brings a unique lens on how people, processes, and execution actually come together at the store level. Jessie, welcome to the show.
Wow, thank you so much for having me. I feel, after that intro, I feel like I really have to bring the big guns.
See, we just flipped that switch from ridiculous to professional, and we're off and running.
Look at that. Good gracious.
Excellent. So, Jessie, walk us through your path in self-storage, starting in HR, then from the call center lens, and then operations. Do I have that? Is that in the right order?
Yeah. I started working for Strat Property Management with Don Clausen, a lovely human being who many in the self-storage industry are blessed to know, as his director of HR many years ago. And I automated a lot of the processes there, took them digital for a lot of the HR functions, and asked him what other projects I could be involved in. And him being the wonderful human that he is, said, well, what else can you do? And what else can you help with? And started giving me more projects on the operations side. And eventually that led to me being their VP of operations strategy. So we did a lot of process design and including some work with our call center, which you called out. And then, the only next natural step was to learn the field and learn field operations from the ground up. So I did that and eventually their VP of self-storage California and then their vice president at company. So from there, I did a little consulting work, as many in our industry do. I hung out my shingle and I got to work with a lot of really neat both operators across the country, kind of doing process design very similar to what I did with Strat and with some of our most renowned tech vendors, helping them do product and process optimization. And that's when I got to know the great folks at Notify and got to do what I'm doing today. Now I work for them full time as their VP of self storage, and I do a little bit of everything. But I help operators on board to the product and design, repair, maintenance, and CapEx programs at scale using our software, of course. And then on the back end, help with product development and making sure that our product is aligned with what self-storage operators really need. That's me in a nutshell.
That is a lot of experience. What a wonderful journey in the industry.
Jessie, how does Notify help storage operators run their business better?
I think that you hit the nail on the head in the intro that what we do is essentially we operate facilities, right? And at the core of everything we do is maintaining our asset. You know, the renting units, curb appeal, all these hot topics we talk about, every single one of them ties back to how are we maintaining the asset. And I think that we have a lot of disjointed systems kind of fit and duct tape together for doing that, right? So there are tons of ways that we uncover issues. So we do walkthroughs, right? And a lot of times maybe that's on paper as we're going and checking logs. We do site visits. We do full on, full scope, full day audits by leaders who visit the property. We have maybe a yearly walk with a bank inspector. We've got, a preventative maintenance program where maybe we're tracking it in a spreadsheet and have, the elevator inspections and fire inspections and things like that. And in the meantime, we are texting, emailing, all of, about the thing that we found that was broken, the thing that we found that was past due, the fire extinguisher with the expired label, right? The project we bought that was repair and maintenance that suddenly turned into a CapEx beast that we need 6 bids for and 5 vendors that we don't have. And I think that, there has not been a unified system to bring all of those things together, all of the inspection points where we might identify an issue, and then all of the workflow of remedy and communication until that issue is resolved into one place until Notify. So that is what we do. We are at our core are a maintenance, repair and maintenance, CapEx tracking and management system. That was a wordy answer for
With the Notify product, have you recommended to your owners and users that you may be looking for a higher quality employee, but you'll be able to spread them out throughout their portfolio with the Notify product? Is your ideal employee using the system more qualified?
Well, yes and no. So I'm so glad you asked that question because a lot of the people who are using our product are part-time 1099 contractors who come to the property as almost like janitorial staff, and are turning vacant units, cleaning, blowing leaves, picking up trash, things like that. And in the past may have needed access to the PMS system. And even though that's not ideal, especially with high turnover and maybe somebody who's not actually an employee, but now can use Notify, scan in when they get to the property, have a punch list, essentially a list of work orders that they need to complete while they're there, aside from maybe a call center or another administrative employee, and then go through their work more efficiently, and also have the accountability of knowing exactly what they did and how long they were there to do it. So, and then on the opposite side of that, you have the more qualified employee who is either maybe an administrative person or somebody who works in the call center who's assigning those work orders out and deploying those people in the field, and they can work more efficiently. And it says that saves them time and helps them with their communication, kind of centralizing it rather than having 15 text message threads with their, contractors, having everything, within one hub in Notify.
So it sounds like Notify Notify really fills in a gap that most of the property management softwares that you see kind of have, right? Where they're great for renting units, dealing with the customer accounts, the customer ledgers, handling collections, auctions, all of those things. But the actual caring for the asset, that part of the job kind of is lost on most of the PMS systems.
Yes, and our TMS partners do a wonderful job with task management and anything having to do with the administration, revenue management. Let a lot of them touch marketing and websites and complexity that we don't come anywhere near. And then on the physical operations of the property, we touch vendor pool management, asset management, and tracking. That's warranties, the information about the physical locations, all of the contracts, business hours, things like that, to centralize all of that into one system that maybe our PMS partners can touch. So definitely a synergistic relationship there. And we found really wonderful partnerships with SSM, Cubby, Storage, SiteLink, Hummingbird, Monument, and have continued to grow our relationships in that way.
Quick break from the podcast. If you're in self-storage and thinking about third-party management, here's the difference. Some companies manage. We focus on performance. At Access Self-Storage, we combine disciplined operations, smart marketing, and a strong customer experience that drives results across every location. If you're looking for a partner that treats your asset like their own, Access is here for you. Now, back to the show.
What else is there?
And if the what?
I said the wrong. I said woodshop.
Workshop?
Yeah, workshop. I'm not going to the wood. I'm Nick Offerman. Give me a slab of bacon, and we're going to make a roll top desk. Here we go. Somebody find my lathe.
I want a lathe so bad. And I said it to Lee. I swear, I want to. And Lee's like, what are you going to do with a lathe?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm going to make so many baseball bats. And she's like, "That you're an idiot." I was like, I might be an idiot, but I'm going to be an idiot with a lot of baseball bats.
I don't know how to spell the word finial or really know what it is, but I think that if you come back to her and say, speaking of the lathe, besides baseball bats, I could do so many finials that, it would blow your ass away.
Finials?
You do know what it is, because if you said it in such
It's
perfect
the thing for
context,
the staircase, right? Isn't it the thing for the staircase?
decorative ornament that marks the apex, top, or end of an object, such as a roof, gable,
You could
furniture
be
piece,
marking
lamp,
the
or curtain rod.
apex all over
kinds
your
of shit.
house.
Just every
Those were
apex in that
spindles.
joint. Mark it.
Spindle, sure.
Finial.
Ah.
Yeah, I think finial goes on the top of the spindle.
Spindle to finial.
Yeah, finial marks end of spindle. Finial? I liked learning new words though. It's I feel like it's
a
rare.
lamp base. You could do like a lamp base, a fancy lamp base, and then you could run the wire through that whole thing.
Get the lathe. This is how you
gotta
sell it to
convince
the
your wife. Yeah. Finials, and we barely covered spindles, but we know they're attached, like the femur and the hip bone, and lamp bases. You could, and of course the baseball bats.
Possibilities
Spindles,
are endless.
finials, baseball bats. I mean, that's right. You're sold.
I'm sold.
If you have any more suggestions for Andrew to pursue this lathe, let us know what projects he can work on for you, and I'll ship them right out.
Yeah, down in the comments below, please.
All right, boys, let's get back to this. Jesus.
So, Jesse,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Brian.
Sorry. No. All you, please.
So, a brand new facility opening day one. Have you ever rolled one out completely unmanned with no staff or to deal with the rent up?
I would not recommend that.
So how does that transition from the very successful rent up? They're at 85%. They're stable. How have you seen that transition from a manned location that can now put their payroll in other places? How does that transition usually go? And what would you recommend?
I think it would depend on a lot of factors. Like, for example, are there several smaller facilities nearby, that are, you could maybe hub and spoke it, right? And have the person who, if I had somebody who just successfully leased up to 85%, especially if they were, doing it within the time frame that we had projected, that person's a rock star. So I would probably give them a little bit of a pay bump since there's some nearby facilities that we could hub and spoke out of their locations since they're stable, assuming again that they have a manageable amount of foot traffic and we're not having concerns about break-ins and habitation and things like that if they leave, to manage those additional assets. If you're not in a geographic position to hub and spoke it, then I've also seen a successful model to be to route some of the calls, the sales queue to that person. So while they're in the office and they don't have anything else to do, that they're answering sales calls for other remote locations and they're renting units because obviously they're great at it. And we want those people in front of the highest number of customers that we can get them. So
Does Notify work best on a particular size facility, or that really doesn't matter?
I haven't seen a facility that didn't benefit from having our software. I would say the sweet spot for a portfolio that would probably think about adopting a system like Notify would be once you get to five to 10 locations. That's when everything on spreadsheets and paper starts becoming a little bit unmanageable. Having spoken to operators saying, well, I'm fine right now. Then yeah, but you have to nail it, scale it. You're growing. You're not going to be fine in 5 more, and you don't want to scale past the point of the infrastructure you've put in place, and then have to retroactively fix them. Put the system in place to scale as you grow, so you have that good tracking, those great systems that you're rock solid. And then as you're adding acquisitions, it's easy peasy.
Great advice. It makes an awful lot of sense. Great advice. So what's next? I mean, what do you see tech-wise on the horizon? What are you working on right now that you're not allowed to share but can share with us?
Oh my goodness, there is nothing I'm not allowed to share. I will tell you what we're working on.
Sweet.
Jacob Kendall, our CEO, who I think is probably one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. I'm not going to qualify that. He is one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. Cooked up a hub and spoke calculator app. And he just did that just for our operators of saying, we're having such a hard time with this particular problem. Which ones do you take remote? And how do you, it's drive time, it's number of units, it's density, is it an urban area or a rural area? Is it, what kind of market is it sitting in before you would even consider it, right? So yeah, he built an app for a couple of our operators and just gave it to them to put their portfolio in, scraped the information from their website and other sources, and then does things like measures, it flags, lights up properties in your portfolio that might be primed for a hub and spoke model or a remotely managed contract model, especially in larger portfolios. I built a triage dashboard app recently as part of our, we have a hackathon every once in a while where we just build, we spend a day building, kind of shut off our phones and get together at the end of the day and say, hey, look at the cool thing I built. And it might end up in the
I want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I mean,
how do we get that implemented?
Is that a catered event? What happens?
I want to invent stuff.
Yeah.
I'll bring my hacky sack. I just hacky sack outside because I am not tech friendly at all. I'll be in the hallway.
Come bring your hacky sack and your ideas. You don't have to be a tech person to participate. You need testers too. And it is very catered. Free food takes a lot of calories.
Say no more. I'll get on the flight. Yep.
Do it. I'm not kidding. We invite guests all the time to come hang out with us while we do this. It's kind of a party.
When's your next session?
We don't have a date on the books, but when we do, I will invite you. I'm very serious right now.
And now a quick break. In self-storage, the little things become big things fast. Maintenance, vendors, unit readiness, communication. Notify helps operators keep all of it organized in one place, giving teams better visibility and keeping facilities running smoothly. Big thanks to Jessie Lamb and the Notify team. Now, back to the show.
Hackathon. So yeah, we start in the morning. Everybody dresses real casual. We bring in breakfast, lunch, dinner, energy drinks. We play music. Everybody brainstorms, whiteboards. We choose the ideas that are the most fun. You get a builder who will build things, and then a test buddy or a team that will test them and help with the UI. And then at the end of the day, everybody presents what they built, and some of the coolest stuff makes it into the product. Some of the cool stuff that isn't aligned with our product makes it out to our customers. Just we're like, hey, we built something cool. Do you want to have it? So we consider them we consider our operators part of our team. So they get the benefit of some of that. So recently I built an app to do what I used to do as a PPO when I looked at my portfolio, which is pull in all of the information from Notify, from the PMS, from Google reviews, things like that, and then score your portfolio red, yellow, or green, so that you know which properties you probably should be paying attention to most urgently, and then to recommend interventions based on kind of what it's seeing and the trends, and with some ability to adjust those. So that's just a fun side project that doesn't have anything to do with that. Maybe eventually will be available in Notify with the Unrentables dashboard and the Hub and Spoke calculator as plugins, but it's really just for fun. So and to give as a gift to somebody who I thought needed it. So
that's such a great idea, and that must be amazing for company culture to be able. I know you're inviting others in, but to be able to get together like that and just have people like, all right, whatever you want to try and create, go ahead. We'll support it for a full day. We'll, and if you're serving Celsius as your energy drinks, I think you got Chris on board.
We have a
there you go.
case. We buy cases of Celsius in
there
the
you
office.
go.
Our CTO just eats the powder packets.
Have you tried that?
That person has we have to find
Celsius
them a program.
I have suggested that the first step is just admitting that we are dependent.
That's right.
We did try an intervention. Unfortunately, he wasn't paying attention. He was too busy trying to cut open a Celsius packet. So
that's a sure sign. Time to bring the family in.
Oh my goodness.
I think Andrew segued perfectly to company culture there. Obviously, everything you just described really speaks to that being, it sounds like a real strength of yours and your organizations. How important do you think that is for self-storage operators as well? Just having a strong culture to keep their team stitched together and everybody working in the same direction.
It's everything. It is absolutely everything. If you want a team that is more than the sum of its parts, if you want people who are going to, swing big and support each other, if you want people who are going to show up and say, and be vulnerable and say they made a mistake, and then work really fast and really hard to fix it instead of covering it up. If you want to be able to talk about real problems and get to the root of them really fast and fix them really fast, which we have to do in the climate that we're in, all of those things are directly tied to the culture that you're building and how safe people feel at work, and how your leadership team sets the example. But it's not top down. It's definitely not a poster on a wall. Culture is the sum of the way that we do things around here every day. So that's every person. So I just challenge people to think about, if you have someone who is, I'm trying to think of a diplomatic way to say they suck.
Yeah.
If you have
there you go.
You got it.
If you have someone who's really great at their job, but they are a miserable person who makes other people miserable and brings other people down, then get rid of that person.
Sounds like they suck.
Yeah.
It sounds like they suck because they suck.
Yeah.
They do.
If
in a
feel
while,
something
you
is
get one.
negatively impacting other people, I think culture is like a pebble in a pond. Man, it radiates out, and there's no program, there's no book, there's no, it's the real way people treat each other every day and the real way that they work, and how they relate and how they feel about other people in the workplace and how they want to show up for them. So don't let anybody be a bad pebble.
You got to protect it at all costs.
And
100%.
And like you said, it's not a poster on a wall, right? Like you don't just put something into place and hope that it sticks. Like it sounds like you and the Notify team are like actively and continuously building and moving that company culture forward, which gets lost in some companies. But that's pretty cool to see that. I mean, even an event like this where you continue to get together with your team and it's bonding, everybody's getting to know each other, maybe even on a personal level. And that's huge. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well,
Jessie,
we are a small team. We've tooled a lot on the back end. We have a brilliant VPO of ops a VP of ops, and he ex-Apple, who, a lot of our accounting systems, marketing system, compliance systems, things like that, we don't have any people for those. AI does a lot of it for us, and a lot of it is automated. So our internal systems, all of the people that you see working for Notify strictly work on customer facing or product facing roles. We're a small team for that reason, but it allows us to be a very cohesive team. And then also all of our energy and effort is directed towards, showing up for our customers. And again, whether that's in something we actually sell, which is our product, but also in all of these other ways.
Jessie, we have a segment occasionally, especially when we talk to somebody who has a background in operations. We call it Dumpster Chronicles. And I read somewhere that you have an interesting story about a chicken unit.
Oh, goodness. The chickens.
Can you tell us your chicken unit story?
Oh my God. I was so new. In operations. I got one of my very first properties. I was so excited. I was like, oh, I'm going to, go in. Obviously, I've, at this point, automated a bunch of things, done process design, written SOPs. This is the first one. This is my, it's a rehab, right? It needs a lot of love. It's a project. So I am going there on the ground, and I am going to personally supervise this property until it is back on its feet. So I'm gung-ho, and we're out doing a walkthrough, and I hear clucking, like a lot of and I hear clucking. And I was walking with like a very young assistant manager, and I said, honey, I am so sorry. I know this is I feel like I might be going crazy. I thought I heard chickens. He said, oh yeah, that's the chicken unit. I beg your finest pardon. What? He said, oh yeah, it's the chicken unit. There was like hundreds of chickens in there. I said, oh, what? He said, oh yeah, this guy, he imports chickens. This is right by the border, right? And then somebody comes in a semi truck, and then he picks them up, and then he takes them after a few days. And I'm like, he can't do that. He's like, he can't do that? Why can't he do that? And we're like, old McDonald, this is baby, this isn't a farm. This is a self-storage facility. Like, there's no ventilation in that unit. It's 100+ degrees outside. For one, that is just one very tiny reason why he can't have hundreds of chickens. But he pays his rent. I mean, he can put anything he wants in there. Okay, well, let's go back to the office, and while I'm going to call Mr. Chicken, and while I'm doing that, I'd love you to sit and read through our lease, particularly the sections about things you can't store.
Was poultry specifically mentioned in that particular rental agreement?
You know what? In his defense, which he pointed out to me, it was not specifically called out that livestock could not be stored in a chicken unit. They call the customer, store chickens in a unit. What do you mean? I pay my rent. Store whatever I want. Okay. Definitely can store whatever you want after we remove the chickens, which is going to happen in about 3 hours when the ASPCA gets here. Are you going to like bring truck and get them, or what's?
Chop. Let's
and
go.
then you can put your Christmas decorations in there, and God bless you. So yeah, it's wild.
Wow.
And I knew immediately that working in the field in self-storage was very different than working, doing data science in self-storage.
Great addition to our Dumpster Chronicles series. I love it.
Just a hypothetical. If this customer wasn't paying their rent on time, how does that auction process go?
It's a great question.
That is such a great question. I'm not sure that the folks at KFC watch Storage Treasures.
I think you're right.
It's Friday afternoon. Let's get you out of here. You ready for the lightning round?
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Whew, I'm pumped. Let's go.
Okay. Here we go. Notify is in San Francisco, yes?
We are. Yes, sir.
What's the best sourdough bread in San Francisco?
Ooh, Boudin.
Fair enough. I agree. Boudin. First concert you attended? Most recent concert you attended?
First concert I attended was Disturbed in LA with my big brothers.
Nice.
Most recent concert I attended, not a concert, but a music event. I did a screening of a bunch of vinyl records at Barshiru in Oakland, which was really wonderful. If you ever get the chance, definitely stop by and do that.
What? All right, I'm going to stop the lightning round because I want to explore that a little more. What does that mean?
Oh, so they have the world's best sound system at this beautiful little vibey bar in Oakland. And on Sunday, you have to be silent. If you go in there, you can order a drink. You just write a note to the bartender and they give you your drink. You sit on a cozy couch in a dimly lit room with the best sound system you have ever heard. They have a collection of over 1,000 vinyl records and they screen albums start to finish. So you could sit there for an hour and a half and listen to an entire album end to end. And it is wonderful.
Wow.
What is your go-to in that scenario? Yeah. What album? If nobody else is around, doesn't have to be, it's a Jessie pleaser, not a crowd pleaser. Best album, beginning to end. What are you putting on?
Dark Side of the Moon.
Hell yeah. Perfect choice.
Thank you.
Didn't even hesitate. That was great. Yeah.
Oh, well, I just listened to it end to end and watched Wizard of Oz on Saturday night. And that's my go-to comfort move. So.
Well, now I know why you're such a fan of hacky sack. I mean, that's clear.
We
favorite beverage.
Hippies in the South too, baby.
Favorite beverage in the morning.
Well, it's black coffee. Like, I'm glad we're not on video because my hair today came in with an attitude.
That's
Don't
what
even
happened
get
to my
me
hair this
started.
morning too.
His was so mad
nice, Chris.
It ran away.
Kicked it right out. So get out of here with your bad attitude.
That's all I got.
All right. Oh, well, gentlemen.
Thank you so much for joining us today on this Friday afternoon. Yeah. We appreciate your time. This was fantastic.
Thank you, Jessie.
You bet. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you. Y'all have a great day. Take care.
You too.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And that's going to do it for this episode of No Vacancy. Huge thanks again to Jessie Lamb for joining us and sharing her insights on operations, technology, culture, and what it really takes to keep facilities running at a high level. As always, if you liked what you heard, make sure to subscribe, follow, and check out No Vacancy wherever you stream your podcasts.
Nailed it!